Okay, I finally got this box here out of my stack full of boxes here on the side. Obviously it's a battery in here. It is made in China and it is the JK48V100Pro. It's the Pro version. I don't actually know if they're making another version as the Pro version, like a JK48V100 Rookie. I don't know. But this is the Pro version. Very special battery. Ooh, double box. Oh, that is interesting. Look at this, there's a battery inspection report in here. This is a test report. Internal resistance 33.6 pars. Capacity larger 100 ampere hour 104.7 pars. Show related battery parameters. Language English pass. Can disconnect battery output normally? Yes, pass. Can use battery software monitor. RS485, RS232 can pass. QC passed. And this was end of November last year. I've got this box here sitting for like two and a half months or something. But today's the day. Guys, welcome back to the off-grid garage here in super windy Australia. Look at this wind. But also no cloud whatsoever. Nothing. Zero. Not even in the west. Blue sky for the next 5, 6, 7 days. No rain, no clouds, just pure sunshine. Perfect. Network cable. Ooh, it comes with a printed user manual. No shit. Look at this. Wow, that is pretty good. I haven't seen a user manual. I haven't seen a printed user manual with any of the products for quite a while. That is very rare. Explains you everything. Buzzer operation, communication, parameter specifications, safety. Well, it's all in here. And M8 terminals plus rubber protectors. 2 metal mounting brackets. So we have here the how do you say that? The
Jakiper.
Ah, the J.
Jakiper.
What?
The Jakiper battery.
I thought it was DJ.
Jakiper.
Ah, but he said it different.
The Jakiper battery.
Jakiper battery.
So it is DJ.
Jakiper.
That is very confusing.
Jakiper battery.
Jakip.
All right, the Jakiper battery.
Ah, do you say it like this?
Jakiper Pro.
The Jack.
They're called Jakiper.
Jackie. It's the Jackie battery. I know you were expecting a PETA, right? A PETA battery now. Like the PETA inverter and the Victron Lynx PETA. But now this is the Jackie battery because I think it's female. So Jackie, PETA and Jackie. And now you're asking, Andy, why are you testing a 1-year-old battery which every other channel on YouTube has already reviewed and tested? Why did you get the Jakiper? Why would you get the Jackie battery and test it in the off-grid garage? It makes no sense. This thing is a year old when it came out to the market. So before I talk about the 3 good reasons to probably get this battery here, let's have a closer look. So I've got 2 positive terminals, 2 negative terminals, so we can daisy chain them together if you have more batteries in parallel. I've got a power on off button, a circuit breaker. Yes, QSO, this is how a circuit breaker looks like. BMS display with 4 menu buttons, RS485, RS232 and CAN communication. Relay contacts including a terminal. State of charge gauge, alarm, run LED, reset button and dip switches for parallel communication. And some handles left and right. It is like a server rack battery size. 440. $420 for the Seplos Mason. And I think if you mount it into a server rack, you can use these brackets here and then you can secure it in your rack. I don't have a server rack. So I probably use these brackets here for some other do-it-yourself projects. Screws! I think this is supposed to stick in here, but I think the glue is not the best. But still, it has all the jumpers and connectors labeled of the BMS and shows you how everything is connected to the battery cells. So first impression, very clean installation. We've got clear numbers for all the cells. We've got 2 cable rails here for the balance cables and temperature sensors. No welded bus bars, as you can see. Flexible bus bars between the cells. Torqued and checked terminal screws. What have they done here? Is this? I think these are the temperature sensors. Why are they wired to the metal tray and not to the cells? Here as well. There. Temperature sensors. They're not connected to the battery. Oh, I don't like that. Why do you measure the temperature of this metal tray here 4 times? Jaki battery, this makes no sense. And apparently this is a PACE BMS. This is a very similar design to the Seplos BMS and also to the QSO, to the Tabaluga BMS QSO is using. There's the separate communication board. The circuit breaker sits on a metal bracket, and they're using 2 7-gauge wires for the main terminals, positive and negative. So 7-gauge is 10 square millimeter, which has a rating of 54 amps. So maximum charge and discharge is 100 amps, so double 7-gauge wire is okay. And they kept the wires the same length, so the main current should actually split up fairly even between these 2 cables then. Yeah, got it. Okay, what do we have? EVE power, LF100L, 100 ampere hour, 320 watt hours, and they are produced end of October 22. And they delivered the battery to me 2 months after the cells have been produced. So pretty good, Jaki, pretty good. I've got sticky foam in between the cells, but interestingly they have done the compression on the small side of the battery. It is not so much a compression, it is more a fixture. Absolutely happy with that, because they have used flexible bus bars. So the cells can actually contract and compress a bit, and there should be no force on the terminals at all. So pretty good design. So I must say, from what I can see right now, this is one of the best batteries I've ever seen. Clean layout, well thought through design. All cells are in a fixture with flexible bus bars. Cable sizes are okay for the rated current, and we've got a large PACE BMS in here with even a current limiter. So that means when the battery gets full, it limits automatically the current going into the battery. This is what the BMS does itself. It potentially also tells the solar charge controllers or your inverter to slow down charging, but it has an active current limiter built in. It's a 125 DC breaker, which disconnects only the positive. Yeah, and the negative is being disconnected by the BMS. And I like they have these relay contacts here on the outside, so we can potentially use this to activate a balancer or turn on a charger or a generator, or even a load like an air conditioner or a hot water system once the battery is full. Well, we have to see what options the BMS actually gives us. But so far, very good design, big thumbs up. Except of these temperature sensors, I'm not sure what this nice, easy and clean. I like it. So before we are going to turn on the Jaki for the very first time here and see how it is like, I just want to talk about a couple of these 3 features why I took this battery here for a test and review. So one very important aspect of this battery is it is not coming from China. I mean, it is made in China, but it is coming from Australia. This is an Australian Jaki battery. It's one of the first Chinese battery manufacturers who have a warehouse here in Australia. So you don't need to wait 3 or 4 months to get your battery delivered. It took only 1 week from ordering this battery here to get it delivered to my doorstep. 1 week. That is unseen here in Australia. And also very importantly, if you order your battery here in Australia, the Australian consumer laws apply to this purchase. And in case of a warranty case, you can also send this battery back here to an address in Australia. Yeah, unlike these ones here, they're coming from China directly. I mean, what are you doing if your battery is not working correctly and it's a warranty claim? Could be very difficult, right? The second thing I was interested in testing this battery here is of course the BMS. And how it connects to other batteries and also how it connects to the Victron system. Because unlike the Seplos BMS, this BMS talks only 9600 baud. And it will not communicate with the Seplos BMS at all. But the QSO battery BMS, the Tangaluma BMS, whatever it's called, has 9600 baud as well. And is very similar to the Pace BMS. So my hope is to connect these two batteries together so they start communicating. A 100 ampere hour battery with a 230 ampere hour battery. Can this work? We will find out. Okay, without further ado, let's turn it on. It is that easy. All right, here we are. The main breaker is still off, but as we have seen in the inside of the battery, the breaker only disconnects the main positive of your battery and the main positive terminal on the outside. And this is exactly how a breaker should be integrated, because now the breaker is off, so all your load is disconnected, but you still can turn on your BMS and do some balancing, for example, or troubleshooting. Yeah, I have secretly opened the box already and pre-charged the battery. So we don't need to wait that long after unboxing. But the battery was delivered with exactly 51% state of charge. And I used this small power supply to recharge it overnight, because it's only a 100 amp battery, right? And I set the power supply to 55.2 volt, which is 3.45 per cell. So this is the maximum I charge my batteries to. And to my surprise, the next morning, the battery was charged to 55.2 volts. The BMS did not turn off because of a high voltage disconnection or something, but the BMS showed 100% state of charge. I was very happy with that result because, well, we haven't checked any parameters in the BMS. We haven't changed any parameters in the BMS. But naturally, the BMS resets to 100% state of charge at 55.2 volts. So we probably don't need to change any parameters in this BMS here at all. Let's have a look. So the Jaki battery is actually the first battery who does that by default and follows the recommendation of results we have tested here on the channel. So that is amazing. I think the display turns actually off after 1 minute. The same as the... Alright. That looks very identical to the QSO battery BMS, to the Tangaluma. Press menu key again. Oh, it doesn't give you any information. There's no landing page or something. Oh, it shows us actually 104.4 ampere hours and remaining 104.4, 100% state of charge. That is cool. Okay, now it comes. Parameter settings. I will be very surprised if we can change any parameters in this BMS. Now, non-production manufacturer cannot use. Okay, some sort of English, but we are locked out here again. And I'm pretty sure it will be the same for the system settings. Enter. Baud rate 9600, and that's it. Okay, these are all the information you can get from the display. So let's, as a comparison, let's have a look at the QSO battery again. So we press the button here once and we've got all the information: 53.6 volts, 3.5 amps, highest cell, lowest cell, and the highest and lowest temperature as well. Not as good as the Seplos BMS, because you press one button and it gives you all the information: voltage, amps, state of charge, and alarms. I like this very much here. But this one here, press a button and it says welcome to use smart BMS, press menu key. So you have to press another button to go into the menu, and then you have to press enter for analog info to get at least the voltage and the amps, but no state of charge, no temperatures. So here the clear winner is the Seplos BMS, then the QSO, and last place so far is the Jaki battery with this BMS display here. It's not too big of a deal because usually you don't use the display every single day. Well, except your name is Andy and you're from the off-grid garage and do battery testing. Then I would be really annoyed to do 1, 2, 3 to get at least some information. Here it says dry contacts, pin 1 and 2, always open, will close with low battery signal. Ooh, so this reacts on an alarm. Once the battery gets low, it closes the contact between 1 and 2, and you can turn on your charger, your generator, or an alarm. It is pretty cool. Pin 3 and 4 always open, will close with fault or protection signal. Okay, so if you have any protection, over voltage, over current, over temperature protection, it will close this contact. Well, and because we've got an over voltage protection status still in the BMS, we should be actually able to measure. No, there's nothing. It has not closed the relay. Oh, why is this not working? Oh, they are providing these contacts now and they're not working. Why not? It says will close with fault or protection signal, and we have a protection signal. We have an over voltage protection situation. There, over voltage protection. So 3 and 4 should be closed now. Why is it so hard? Okay, let's use our self-made Victron Type A cable, battery BMS CAN type cable, and see what's happening. Obviously this end goes into the CAN port of the battery, and the other end extending the cable. And now it should be long enough to plug into our servo, one of the VE CAN ports. There it is, smart BMS. There it shows up, 100% state of charge. Look at this, beautiful, plug and play. Works. That's how it's supposed to be. Nice. Okay, let's have a quick look at the cell voltages because we cannot see anything through the software. Okay, lowest here is 50, 86, 90 is the highest, 47. Here we can see it. 46 is the lowest and 97 is the highest. That's 51 millivolt, is that correct? Yeah, so there is a bit of an imbalance in the battery at the moment. And once we get the software connected, we can have a closer look at the parameters and settings and see if the balancer actually does anything at all in these BMSs. Usually they have only between 50 and 100 milliamps balance current, so not really good. But with this setup inside, there's enough room to connect an active balancer as well as put a knee active balancer inside the box. Okay guys, I think so far the first look at the Jaki battery coming to you from Australia. Well, at least if you live in Australia and you order one here, it will come from Australia within a week. Hey, don't quote me on the shipping times. And so far I must say I'm really impressed with this build, with the battery, with the quality, using EVE LF100F cells. All the cabling is very neat and tidy. Also the cable dimensions fit the maximum charge and discharge current. We've got a 125 amp circuit breaker in here, a power button, communication with the Victron system, plug and play. So the only two downsides so far are the 4 temperature sensors inside, which are connected to the metal cable tray and not to the actual battery. And the display here is a bit of the side, but still usable. Okay guys, I guess in the next video we're doing a full capacity test on this battery and see if we can actually get the 104.7 ampere hours out of this battery. And I also have negotiated some very good discount codes for you guys, regardless where you are in the US, in Europe, or here in Australia. Very good codes. I just haven't got them yet. I haven't got them yet. And you maybe want to hold off with buying this battery until we see the capacity test and how the BMS settings look like, how they work. If we are able to change anything in the BMS, which I doubt, maybe we can Google the password for the BMS. So all these information will come in the next video after the discharge test. And then we have a pretty good picture of this battery here. But so far, thumbs up. I'm surprised they are building actually these good quality batteries here. Until this next video when we do the discharge test. Guys, you stay charged, stay safe, and thanks again for watching. See you then. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye-bye from me and the Jaki battery. It's good. I like it so far. Jakiper battery. I said it. Jakiper battery. The Jakiper. Jakiper. My American accent. Jakiper. Jakiper. The Jaki. Jaki is better. Jaki, the Jaki battery. Hey, have you heard about the Jaki battery? It's amazing. Yeah. I pretty much sound like a citizen of the United States of America. Pretty cool. Jakiper.